You are now witnessing the 19th interview on the English Corner podcast. You already know who it is. I am your host, the legend Ty Finney himself. Y'all know what the slogan is, no BS boxing. In the building with me, I got a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome professional fighter Harold the Predator Jackson. Harold, what's going on with you?
Man, how's it going? How's it going? Thanks for having me on here.
All right, man. Everything's going good, man. Like before we even get into it, man, I just want to appreciate you, reaching out to me, like getting this interview started, man. So I'm happy to have you on.
You've been doing your thing. I'm happy to be on here.
All right. All right. So like before we even get into all the boxing questions, man, like tell us how your day's been going.
It's been going good. Woke up good. Thank the Lord. Been having a blessed day. Got a good breakfast in. Got a good workout in. This been a typical Saturday. Real nice.
All right. So you did some sparring today?
Oh yeah. I got about a good 12 rounds in.
Okay. All right. All right, like we start from the beginning, man. Like tell us about your childhood and like your upbringing.
Originally from Chicago, Illinois. In Chicago, like all the park districts, they got like boxing gyms and basketball courts and swimming pools in there. So like I was always in the park districts in the field house playing around, doing a little basketball, just taking advantage of what they had in the field houses in Chicago. Uh, I wrestled all 4 years in high school. Went downstate a couple times. Uh, that's when I kind of found my love for the combat sport. Um, I always was. My father was a mechanic, so I grew up in around mechanic shops. Worked with my father till I was about 16. Um, I still do that to this day. Drive trucks, work on trucks. I train now at Mike Cook Boxing. Always working in Memphis, Tennessee. Um, I also had a MMA background as an amateur. I didn't box as an amateur. I went 3-3 as an amateur in MMA. I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and right now I'm really just like focused on boxing.
All right. So tell us like when you first moved to Tennessee from Chicago, was it anything like was there anything to do like the streets of Chicago was bad or anything like that, or was that just your move that you just decided to do?
I moved to the south because I got a lot of family down here. It wasn't straight from Chicago to Tennessee. I stayed in Colorado for about 5 years. That's when I got introduced more to like the martial art culture. That's when I started practicing BJJ. Um, I also was in got into boxing down there too. I had my first professional fight down there. I got signed as a boxer in Colorado. So shout out to Gladiators from Fort Morgan, Colorado. Did a lot of work up there with those guys.
Okay.
When I got to Memphis, from the difference between Chicago and Memphis, like Chicago, like a bigger city. Like even though
Right.
people who might in Tennessee might think like Memphis kind of big, but Chicago like a bigger city, it got bigger avenues, bigger resources. Yes, it's a lot of trouble, but it's like trouble anywhere, everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Just plant yourself in the right spot. Like if you're in Chicago, still go to the boxing gym, still stay around your same type of circle. You'll bring the same type of energy. Like if you was in trouble in Chicago, then you come to Memphis, they got that same type of trouble in Memphis.
Gotcha.
So you just
All right.
gotta.
Okay. And like correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't have any amateur experience, right, in boxing?
No amateur experience, just in and out the gym as a child and through high school.
Mm.
No amateur fights though.
All right. So how does one like turn pro without like any amateur experience? Is it because you got like so much experience in MMA, wrestling, and all that?
I think my opportunity came because I was so glued in the gym, and that's one thing. Like how promoters, you got the promoters they put on the shows, so they're gonna be looking for fighters to put on the show. So a good resource to get fighters is either a manager or a gym owner, because then you'll have multiple fighters. If you get in contact with just a fighter, then you just got that one fighter. But if you get in contact with a gym owner, there's multiple fighters at multiple weight classes, and some managers got multiple fighters. So I think my opportunity came from uh, being in the scene so much during MMA. Like I say, taking it from town to town, city to city, I go. And when the opportunity came, it was because I was in the gym so much.
Got you. Uh, that's what's up, man. Cause like one of my favorite fighters, Amir Mansour, like he doesn't box anymore, but like he turned, he basically turned pro. Like he didn't have any amateur experience, but he basically got into boxing like once he went into the system, like like juvenile system and everything. And he just started boxing through that, and he got so good, and turned pro from that. So like everybody got different ways, going pro, like with no amateur experience. So like salute to you, man, because your record, you got out of all your fights that you had, like all the ones you won, man, like 10 wins, but 9 knockouts. So like only one fight that you had, you went the distance. So like 10 wins and 9 knockouts. That's impressive, man.
I appreciate it. Thank
you. Yeah. All right. So like since you do have a background in MMA, the question I got for you is like we seen Ray Mercer go to MMA. We seen Carissa Shields. She's had a few fights, So like my question to you is like if the opportunity presented itself, will you go to like MMA and fight, or like if an MMA could come over to like fighting boxing, would you take those options, or are you trying to keep it strictly boxing?
I would most definitely take either option. Like I say, right now I'm focused on boxing, so I wouldn't mind if a crossover fighter came from MMA and wanted to box. He get his boxing license, the right city, the right setup. I ain't ducking nobody, no matter if they come from MMA or boxing. Going into the cage, like I say, I'm 3-3 as an amateur in MMA, so I'm very familiar with the cage. Since then, I've been boxing, and I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. So, the opportunity knocked to have my professional debut in MMA, I take it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I brought that up because we seen it a lot now in boxing. We just had Francis Ngannou. He's fought Anthony Joshua and he's fought Tyson Fury. So we definitely getting that a lot in the boxing now.
And it can't be done because that was like two totally different performances. So we seen him kind of put on a good boxing performance against Tyson Fury, kind of shocked everybody, even though he lost. And then he kind of got shut out by Anthony Joshua. So I'm quite sure he's going to get back in there.
Yeah, facts. All right, so like let's get into your fight that you had, last Saturday. You got like a first round stoppage over your opponent. Like, tell us about it.
All right, it was against Philip Lars from Louisiana. It was a rematch. I fought this guy. I guess he thought he could do better. I heard talks about, he said he got stopped early on the first fight. That he could have did this, he could have did that. So we had a rematch. Usually in rematches, I stop people worse than I did them the first time. It's the second rematch I done had, and it wasn't no different. We came out. He did come out different. He didn't come out subtle. It wasn't no fill out rounds like how you usually have that first round, kind of touch it out, fill out. That's how the first fight started off. This fight came out swinging. He came out with that jab real long. He got some nice little punches, put them together. My thing was to pick up right back where we left off at, take it to him right off the bell, but it seemed like he was on the same thing, so we kind of met and clashed right off back. I kept the pressure on him. I was digging to the body. I dropped him with a body shot. The first time I dropped him, as soon as we encountered, I dropped him, but the ref didn't give me the knockdown. He called it a slip. So then we get back at it. He threw a couple nice little jabs. I got up under there, and then I was stuffing him to the body every time I got a chance. I remember him backing up on the ropes, and I threw like a long hook, and I seen them kind of do like that. So I just swarmed him after that. got him in the body again and dropped him. And then when he got up, his eye was busted. The ref waved it off. We got a TKO in the first round. So I was pretty happy about that. When it happened so fast. And then you got to go back and watch like the videos, and then you see the pictures, and then it's like you start remembering, pinpointing certain punches he did, certain punches I did. Like I said, it was like two pit bulls. We just locked in. So it was pretty intense. First round. It's kind of what I expected, kind of what I thought it was gonna be like. So I was happy with the outcome.
Yeah, so I watched it. I watched the fight on Facebook. It looked like you caught him like a big hook, and then like once you got him in the corner, it looked like he was getting ready to turn it on. And that's when he just fell, like took a knee and fell, and like it got away off. So you say he had a bad cut?
Yeah, he had a cut. Like if you go back and watch it, let it play out, you're gonna see the ref pointing to his eye. Then you're gonna see the corner come hold the towel up to it. Then when I gave him love after the fight, I seen he had a cut right there, and like a little knot right there. So I know he probably caught a couple right hands.
Gotcha. Yeah, so like what's the reason y'all had the rematch? Like, did he see that it was something that he could have capitalized on in the first fight and he wanted to run it back? Or like did it see something they could capitalize on? It's like, man, we gotta go in there again.
I that had to be a question for him because I kind of knew the outcome, even though whatever he saw, I knew they were saying like it got kind of stopped early last time, and this time it didn't look like he was gonna continue this time. So I think that little boxing feud over with.
All right. So like when we think of promoters, we think of Eddie Hearn, we think of Bob Arum, we think of Oscar De La Hoya, Al Heyman. Like from what I understand, like your promoter is a female. Like tell us about her and tell us like how you linked up with her.
Okay, Brandy McCain, 116 Boxing, sweetheart. I actually got her through another female fighter, Sonya Drilling. She just fought O'Shea Jones a couple weeks ago. Man, her used to train in Colorado at Renegade BJJ in Greeley, Colorado. So me and her used to train in Colorado. Me, her, and Dean Cotton up under Eddie Cisneros. And she had left, and I guess she moved back down south. So when she heard I moved down south, she called me up and was like, "Oh, I can know this promoter, first female promoter in Alabama. You probably want to hop on her card. She gonna be doing some things." So we put a couple of fights together. My wife, my manager, Alicia Jackson. Shout out to her for helping turn my career to what it is today. So my wife and Sonya reached out to Brandy. They tried to set up a couple fights. They fell through. Then we got this one guy. I think he was like 1-0 at the time, 2-0 at the time. Terry Roscoe. We set up a fight with him, and I got the first round knockout on him. And from there, that's when I knew I was kind of something special. I could see it in the crowd. I could see it in my fight. I could see it in me. So it's like, all right, I'm going to build on this. So they kind of made me get another fight with Brandy. Stuck with her, and we done built this thing up to what it is today. Me, her, my wife, and a couple outside promoters here and there. And we just keep on building.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to all the female promoters. I know a few myself, and they definitely put a lot of cards together. Keep the fighters busy. So like one thing I could say about like PBC, I love PBC, but like they got so many fighters. The fighters are not fighting enough, man. Like once a year, sometimes not even once a year. Like, and we're missing out on that. So like Brandy, she's definitely keeping you busy. So shout out to her. Like when you think your next fight day would possibly be.
I was just talking to my manager and team about it. We probably aiming like June, July.
All right. Okay, that's what's up.
We doubt if we let the summer pass without putting something else on the resume.
All right. And I know this, Tony Weeks, he attended, who shout out to Tony Weeks, I interviewed him. Awesome dude. Like, did he just attend or did he actually like referee any fights?
Now that was the dope part. Shout out to Tony Weeks, shout out to Brandy McCain, and shout out to Terrence. It was a fight on that Tony Weeks actually came and helped make his dream come true. They was supporting a special cause, and he came through and he helped that guy dream come true. He stepped in the ring that night, and Tony Weeks actually refereed. So I believe, I know it was all behind the scenes, and I was kind of like focused on my fight. But when the magic and everything was going on, I think Brandy had that set up for that kid especially, to make his dream come true. But then one of our referees had they couldn't make it, so Tony Weeks actually ended up stepping up and refereeing for us and for the reason he came. So shout out to Terrence, shout out to his whole team, shout out to Brandy. Also, Butterbean was on. Son was on the card, so Butterbean was in attendance too. So it was a nice night, nice legendary night.
Facts, salute to Tony Weeks, coming out and doing what he did, and salute to Butterbean as well. All right. So I've interviewed, Adrian Ganadas, from Illinois. I interviewed Alex Martin from Illinois. Chicago's got a lot of fighters, Alex Martin, Adrian Ganadas, you got Kenneth Sims Jr., Nathaniel Gallimore. Like, have you ever been in the gym and seen those guys, or have you ever worked with those guys, like when you was in Chicago?
No, I haven't had the chance to work with any of those guys, but I do hear a lot about them. And Chicago is making some good noise. I go up there from time to time and work with Montel Griffin out of Windy City Boxing Gym. So yeah, shout out to all those Chicago fighters, and y'all keep turning it up. I know Bobby Hits. I think they got a nice fight. I think it's tonight. So yeah, that'll be one. That'll be a place I want to fight at soon. Want to get me a hometown fight in Chicago.
All right, man. I hope you get it for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
So like, what weight class are you currently fighting at?
Super welterweight, 154.
So like, do you think you're gonna stick with that weight, or do you think you would possibly like move up or move down, or do you think you want to stay at that weight?
I like this weight. I think I can still fill it out a little more. I don't mind going up to 160. I won't go down.
Okay.
I started at 47 for my debut, and I went up to 54. This a better weight for me.
All right. So like, is there any names, like in that division, or any top names that you would like to fight down the road?
I done got a couple calls for a couple names, and um, like I want all the names at 154, the top 10, the top 20, top 50 guys. So the calls come, they know who I am. I always say yes. So just
All right.
let them keep on coming.
All right. All right. Yeah. I hope you get all the fights that you want for sure. All
Appreciate
right.
it.
All right, so like you mentioned that you were sparring earlier today. Like I've heard, like I don't want to mention any names, but I've heard a couple of stories. When fighters got into intense sparring on the week of the fight, and then they end up getting injured, and then the fight is either called off or they got to find another opponent on short notice. So like my question to you is like, why do fighters put that intense sparring on the week of the fight?
I have no idea because my team would let me do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put myself through it. I probably cut off intense sparring probably a couple weeks out before the fight. A week of the fight, if I'm finna do it, let's say a Monday, I'm finna do intense sparring, and I fight Saturday, that don't make any sense. That makes no sense to me. We usually spar twice a week on Saturday and on Wednesday. I do that last walkout the Saturday before, and I probably wouldn't even be full fledged that last spar. Like make sure my weight good, make sure I'm loose, hit some mitts, do some little situational drills, study the game plan. I ain't doing no hard sparring the week of the fight for reasons like that.
Right. It's like, do you think the fighters do that because like they realize, oh man, this fight week I gotta turn it up, or do you think they do that because maybe they're having second thoughts or something like that? They possibly won't win.
It probably started all the way back before the count, before they even took the fight. Like if you're not like focused and drilled in and I'm already got my yeses and nos already now. So if I had a big fight coming up, my yeses and nos can't change. It got to stay the same. Can't nobody tell me, oh, and you need to turn it up. You need to do one more hard spar. That's not how we do it. I won't do it. Is the confidence and the training should have been there already. The confidence and the diet, the confidence and the sacrifices you made up to this point should be the last week or two really should be kind of like just game planning. Just game planning and staying loose. You shouldn't be doing no hard sparring. So for those guys, I think they team and them, somebody got big headed, they got getting their wires crossed. Somebody needs to humble themselves. Somebody needs to step in and say something, and it don't happen, and these things happen.
Yes. Like you mentioned earlier that you drive trucks. So tell us when you first got your CDL, like you drive trucks right now.
Yeah.
Tell us like when you first got your CDL, like where did you take the class at? Like for anybody that could be like interested in it.
Okay, like most people do like a little 4-week program. Like I went to Delta Tech College. It was like 5 months. It's called a professional truck driving program. They went through the ins and outs of the truck and how to drive it and like the mapping and like anything you can think of from the parts on the truck to driving, stick shift, reversing, the maneuvers. They just really walked you through it. So I did that, and then I worked for Waste Pro, a garbage company, for about a year or two, year and a half. Like currently, right now, I had a couple of jobs between there and here. Worked for a tire company, worked for a mechanic shop, and then now I do heavy duty towing. So I drive the big records that tow the trucks.
All right. So like, how do you balance that with your boss's schedule? Like, is it tough?
Sometimes it do. Uh, like I always got boxing in my mind, so like I get up, run, then go to work, and then while I'm at work, my whole job be laughing at me. I be shadow boxing it all day long while I'm at work on my downtime, and then once I get off work, I shoot to the gym, catch that afternoon session. If I can't catch it at 12, I'll catch it at 7. And then go home, go to sleep, and train, repeat, sleep, repeat, do it all over again. And then I get my jobs. They usually be lenient with me when it come up to fights, so I take off more time so I can prepare for a fight. And that's how I kind of work it in.
All right. So once boxing is over for you, like, do you think you would try like stick around and maybe like train, or do you think like you would probably go like into trucks for a time?
Um, I think I'll always be around boxing and jujitsu and wrestling. Um, I gotta pass it on. So even if I do, I'm gonna do trucks same way, and I still have time to pass on the craft.
All right. So like, tell us how you got the nickname the Predator.
All right, so um, it had to be told about this guy Steve Pavarocki. He gave it to me from DCO MMA, and what was it? It was in Colorado. I think it's kind of closer to like Denver. Um, when I forgot what it was called, but yeah, close to Denver, Colorado. DCO MMA. I was in there. I think that's when I first started training MMA, and I know I was giving them guys hell in there because he gave everybody like some weird like nicknames, and then he was working on a nickname for me. I knew it was I knew he was kind of hard on me, so I knew it was gonna be some bullshit. Then when he was like the Predator, I'm like, oh no, I'm keeping that shit. I'm like, he been hard on me all this time. And one good thing came up out of that was my nickname. So
All
shout
right.
out Steve Pabrocki for the nickname, the Predator.
All right. I wish B Hop was, younger, still fighting in your weight class. We get the alien versus the predator, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, nice one, nice one.
Yeah,
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 shout out to B Hop.
yeah,
That's
for
one
sure.
guy I always look up to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've met B Hop, so like salute, shout out to B Hop. I saw, your podcast with John. Like, you did a little bit of freestyling on there. Since you live in Tennessee now, like, are you fans of the rap group, 3 6 Mafia, or are you a fan of Young Buck?
Oh yeah, both of those. I grew up listening to those before I was even in the Tennessee area. Young Buck, he had this run when he was with G Unit, 3 6 Mafia, Juicy J and them. Yeah, you gotta love them.
All right. From what I understand, you got a shoe out. Like tell us how that came about. Like, and if anybody wants, check out your site, like give us all that information.
Okay, it's Isaac Wade. That's my shoe company. These people, they reached out to me about going partnership and designing the shoe. I was all thrilled about it. I went all in. I actually got a pair right here. Isaac Wade. So like got like the python tongue, you know what I'm saying? Canvas shoe material, got the leather on the back, got a little sand in the inside for you right there. It says success is the best revenge. So I was trying to make a shoe that could last long. Like I know we get Air Force Ones, like not to knock any brands or nothing, but leather shoes right there, like they bend up a lot. So I tried to get a brand that like a material that wouldn't bend up, a little fancy on the tongue, something that can stand out. You know what I'm saying? Some that nice dark colors that can match everything. Uh, I really like these. These my OG prints. I got some all black ones coming out too. The links usually be on my Facebook and all my social media. Just look out for the word Isaac Wade. If you email me or DM me, I can shoot you a coupon. I have shirts, clothes, and hoodies coming out soon. But yeah, these my babies, man. If you see me outside, I probably got on a pair of Isaac Wades.
All right. All right, yeah, that's what's up, man. Like everybody, that watches this, definitely hit up the Predator and get you a pair of those shoes for sure.
For sure.
All right. Yeah, so now we got Tank Davis versus Frank Martin coming up in June. Who do you got in that fight and why?
All right, I'm still rocking with Tank, but shout out for Frank because I think this will be a exciting fight. I'm not sure how hard it's gonna be until they really get in there. Maybe about the first 3-4 rounds, I'll be able to see how hard it's gonna be. But I'm always rooting for Tank to have a hard fight. I'll be real hard on Tank. I ain't no super fan of him, but he is making me a believer. I like to see him in hard situations, and I want to see him get out of it. So he done put himself in a hard situation right here. Frank got a good opportunity. He hungry. I think this gonna be at least right now, this got to be one of the most dangerous fights Tank done fought.
Facts. I agree with you there.
Yeah. So
Facts.
I want to see. I really want to see this one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Salute for them to making the fight happen for sure.
Yep.
All right, so 2 more questions. Your next fight, what do you think it would possibly be at? I know you fight in Alabama a lot, right? Do you think your next fight would possibly be in Alabama, or you think it'll probably be like a different location, different venue?
I think it's gonna be in Memphis or Chicago.
Okay.
I'm kind of getting what I want lately, so I think it'll be in Memphis or Chicago.
Yeah, definitely keep me posted on that. Cause like I said, man, I got a lot of peeps out in Tennessee, man. I can have them all definitely pull up to that for sure.
Okay.
All right, yeah. And so the last question, since your name is the Predator, are you a fan of the Predator movies?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I got them all. I was just watching The Prey today.
All right.
I even got the last one, The Prey. Like, yeah, I watched all of them.
All right, that's what's up. All right, man. That's all the questions I have for you, man. Like anything you want to say out in closing, like your shoe line, like just anything, like your fans, like anything you want to say out in closing.
Man, shout out to you, Ty, for having me on here. Shout out to
All
all
right,
my boxing fans, my promoter, Brandy McCain, my manager, Alicia Jackson, my Coach Z, Coach Ray Lapone, Mike Cook Boxing, always working, Lifeline Success, 90s Baby ENT, all my sponsors, Good Credit One-on-One, AMJ Management, and Isaac Wade. Get that shoe, man. Look out for the black one, Isaac Wade. Check out my page, all social medias at HJ the Predator.
all right. Yeah, man. All right. Before we close it out, man, I definitely got to say, man, you're a man of many traits. Driving trucks, boxing. You said you got the MMA background. You got shoes. You say you do jiu-jitsu too, right?
Yep, I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
So yeah, right. So salute to you, shout out to you for all the different avenues, all the different roads that you traveled on, man. So a man of many traits for sure. Like before we close it out, man, give us your social media.
HJ the Predator on Instagram, Harold Jackson and HJ the Predator on Facebook. HJ the Predator. Just type it in.
All right. And y'all know where I'm at, man. I'm on IG, the Legend 3347, Facebook with Todd Finney. You guys just witnessed the 19th interview on the In This Corner podcast. On that note, we out.
Yes, sir.